Hello and welcome to We the People. It seems certain now that Salman Khurshid, as Foreign Minister, will be representing India at the Commonwealth meet. The Prime Minister has not issued a statement of his own, but senior ministers in the government are indicating that this decision has been taken. The Prime Minister seems to have surrendered to the sentiments of all political parties in Tamil Nadu, including his own and his ally, the DMK. On We the People today, we'll be asking, from Sharm el-Sheikh to Sri Lanka, is the Prime Minister no longer in control of his foreign policy? In taking this decision, has he taken a wise decision or a weak decision? What sort of precedent does it set for diplomacy if domestic politics now dictate the direction of what governments decide to do vis-a-vis diplomatic relations? What does it mean for India-Sri Lanka relations? And what does it say about the government's capacity to take an independent decision? Let me get started with you, Manishankar Iyer. And I want to start with you not just because you are a leader of the Congress party, but because you are one of those leaders of the Congress party from Tamil Nadu who has actually argued in favor of engagement, in continuing to engage with Sri Lanka. Your party, on the other hand, at least the voices that we've heard from the ministers, for example, from Tamil Nadu and the government, have been saying quite the opposite. The Prime Minister seems to have decided to go that way. Salman Khurshid is all set to represent the government at the Commonwealth meet. The Prime Minister could have done what David Cameron did. He issued a statement saying, look, my going doesn't mean that I'm endorsing what's happening in Sri Lanka, that I'm not critical of the human rights record there, but I believe in engagement. Do you believe the Prime Minister has made a big mistake?
Well, I would have been much happier had the Prime Minister made whatever his decision was known well before now. In fact, even as we speak, we do not know officially what is the decision of the Government of India. As you yourself said, some senior ministers have been talking out of school to you, but they usually do. And therefore, perhaps what your information
even
is...
Even Doordarshan says that Salman Khurshid is leading the delegation.
Well, Doordarshan has now, alas, been made independent of the government. So, I greatly regret that decision.
Are you saying you still hope or think the Prime Minister may go? That seems pretty unlikely.
Let me therefore say that irrespective of whether the Prime Minister eventually goes or not, you've hit the nail on the head. The important thing is continuous and uninterrupted engagement with the government of Sri Lanka. That includes engagement at the level of prime ministers. It includes engagement perhaps at the level of presidents. But obviously, the much more substantive engagement always is at somewhat lower levels. And I'm glad that India is not going to go unrepresented at CHOGM. We are going to be there. And when one considers that the past record of Indian attendance at CHOGM meetings has often not involved the Prime Minister, even if there's no particular controversy, I don't think this can be made by the Sri Lankans into an issue where they would break off relations with us.
But do you think the Prime Minister has been weak? Do you think the Prime Minister has been weak?
What I think very important about engagement is that we do have a special responsibility towards the Tamil people of Sri Lanka. And I don't think we'll be serving their cause by breaking off the engagement.
So are you disappointed with your government?
You know, I don't know that I'm ever satisfied with any government, whether in India or elsewhere. And it is one's democratic right to not be entirely satisfied. I already said that I wish whatever the decision was had been taken much earlier and announced much earlier. Even now, Barkha, I underline this, I do not know whether the Prime Minister of India is or is not going to Colombo. Well, that has been announced by you, but not by the Government of India.
Well, that is the way the Government of India functions. I can't do much about that. But Subramaniam Swamy, are you out of sync with the state unit of the BJP? And I say this because, and I don't mean you, Subramaniam Swamy, but is the BJP central leadership sitting in Delhi out of sync with what your people in Chennai are saying? Narayan Swamy points this out today by saying the BJP is guilty of double speak. Look, they're pointing fingers at us, but look at what their state unit is doing or saying.
Well, first of all, the state unit cannot decide national policy. That has been made clear. And national policy has already been expressed when Sushma Swaraj went to Colombo, the all-party delegation. Then the RSS, which has very close links with BJP, they had a resolution passed in Jaipur, which also makes the position very clear. We first of all regard both Sinhalese and Tamils as people who went from India. We don't say that we have a special relationship with Tamils overriding any relationship with the Sinhalese. In fact, recently the ambassador of the High Commissioner of Sri Lanka went to Orissa, and he was received with a great honor and support. And we found also that when the cricketers played not in Tamil Nadu but in other places. So I'd like first of all say that the Indian position, which is the constitutional position, that foreign policy is in the central list. It's not in the concurrent list or in the state list. It is the center which has to decide. Now on the second question, I don't think that if you really look at it objectively, and if what you say is the confirmed position, that the Prime Minister has completely surrendered because the demand was for boycott.